What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod, and I'm coming at you now with the deck profile of my Soul Control Monarchs. This of course was the deck that I was using most recently in my DevPro duel videos. I actually have a bunch more of the DevPro duels recorded, so if you guys would like to see more videos of me testing this deck out and trying it and seeing what it's capable of, I can upload those at a later time as well. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and get right into things and get to the deck profile. Alright, so we're going to start off with the monsters, and we are of course playing 3 copies of Caius, 3 copies of Raiza, 2 copies of Thestalos, and 2 copies of Mobius. So 10 monarchs in all. This is kind of the streamlined build that I like. So it's a quarter of your deck, so 1 out of every 4 cards that you draw should be a monarch, which is about what you want because you're going to be, in theory, sacking for a monarch almost every turn. So, alright, from there, for support cards, we are playing 3 copies of Cardcar D. This is to help increase our draw engine of the deck and hopefully make our draws more consistent, set up plays and whatnot. One of the best opening plays, in my opinion, is to set a Scapegoats and then play a Cardcar D and just draw 2 cards. This kind of leaves your opponent a little bit guessing on what deck you're playing because they have really no clue what you're up to at this point. And even if they go ahead and mystical Scapegoats or something like that on their turn, they really still don't have any idea what's going to happen or what deck you could possibly be playing, because all you've done was play 2 kind of generic like cards that have kind of helped you thin your deck out. So that's pretty cool. From there, I'm playing 3 copies of Cyber Valley. This works extremely well with the Scapegoats that we're going to get to in a little bit, and with the enemy controllers, mind control, all these kind of things I think that work really well with it. From there, we're playing 3 copies of Battle Fader. Pretty self-explanatory for a Monarch deck. Then we have 2 Maxx's and 2 Effect Veilers to kind of round up, just keeping control on your opponent's field. Alright, so that's going to do it for monsters. Alright, so for spells, we're playing 3 copies of Soul Exchange. This is our soul control aspect of the deck. We're also playing 3 copies of Pot of Duality to kind of hopefully add a lot of consistent draws. I don't typically like to play Duality first turn unless I'm going second and I already have like a Soul Exchange or something in my hand and a Monarch, so that way I don't reveal anything to my opponent until I actually make my play. Right. And then from there, playing 3 copies of Scapegoat. This is the kind of MVP card of the deck. This card, is really the idea behind me wanting to make a Monarch deck again. And the fact that you could have 3 Scapegoats, I think, opened up a lot of doors in a lot of different plays, especially involving this card right here, which is Enemy Controller. Instead of using Treeborn Frog, typically with your enemy controller plays, you would go with a Scapegoat token, or Goat token I should say, to kind of take control of your opponent's monsters, and you can attack with them, remove them with Cyber Valley, or sack them for a Monarch. It's very cool. From there, I'm using 3 copies of MST. And then my 2 one-ofs are Dark Hole and Mind Control. Mind Control is pretty awesome because we are playing Cyber Valley, so any one of my opponent's monsters that are just giving me all kinds of grief, and I just having so much trouble getting around, I could just take control of it, summon my Cyber Valley, remove both of them, and then draw 2 cards. It's pretty epic, actually. You could also do all kinds of really derpy plays with this. You can go into synchros or exceeds if you have the right kind. Anyways, that's going to round up my main deck. There's no traps in the deck. Alright, the extra deck is still very much a work in progress. There's a few other cards that I do not own that I would like to get for it, that I will probably get for it pretty soon. But any ideas that you guys might have on ways to improve the extra deck, cards you think I might have missed, anything like that. Some of the cards are not in the extra deck just because I don't particularly own them yet. I'll probably get them pretty soon, especially if I'm going to continue playing the deck, especially in real life. You know what I mean? So, alright. Right now I'm playing 2 of the Photon Strike Bouncers. Just really solid card. This is usually the only card I ever go into when I make an Exceed play with the Monarchs, but sometimes you never know. Then we have Swordbreaker, Inzektor Exa-Beetle, and then 1 Gaia Dragon to, overlay or whatever. I know there is that other one, I forget its name, Gauntlet something. It's the rank 6 that lets you destroy a card or whatever, a monster. And I've been thinking about picking him up. I thought I had one in real life, but I guess I got rid of them all. I don't know. Pretty cheap though, pretty easy to get, and I'll probably end up getting one of those. I was thinking about including them because there's lots of space and ways to maneuver in the extra deck. The only other Exceed monster I have is Slacker Magician. I was real unsure about putting this one in here at first, but my buddy was like, you play so many level 1s, and this card can be such a nuisance to get around sometimes. And I was like, well, I do love, annoying my opponents at times, so I figured what the heck, why not? For Synchros, we got Formula Synchron, pretty cool because of the tokens. Same thing with Armory Arm and Catastor. Now I know the other Synchro monster, the one that just came out in Judgment of the Light, the Amadeus one, a lot of people are telling me I should be picking that up for this deck as well. I want to pick one up anyways. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I haven't gotten a lot of Judgment of the Light packs, and I haven't gotten a lot of the singles for it yet either, but I probably will be picking that one up. From there, got the Black Rose, Crimson Blader, Scrap Dragon, Stardust, Thoughtruler, and of course Mist Wurm to kind of round things up. For those of you guys wondering how you would even go into level 8 Synchro, once you get a Monarch on a field and a Scapegoat token, you just summon out your Effect Veiler and you can go into any level 8 Synchro. Same thing too with like Mist Wurm, just use a couple of tokens or whatever and a Monarch in your Effect Veiler. Or if they have a tuner monster on their side of the field, you can always tribute off a goat token for, with enemy controller, take control of it and synchron up into all kinds of weird things. Pretty cool stuff. I've also been thinking about other synchros such as Star Eater. I'm not sure if it's really needed in the deck though, or if I would ever have the opportunity to go into that one per se, but I guess you never know. Really, the idea behind this deck just came from me wanting to come up with something different than Frog Monarchs. That's why you don't see Treeborn Frog or anything like that in there. I just wanted to kind of revert back to the soul control aspect of Monarchs and just kind of revisit that deck idea, especially with being able to play the 3 enemy controllers with the goat tokens and cyber valleys and all this kind of stuff. I thought it kind of made for an interesting build. Overall, I think the deck is a pretty solid, maybe tier 2 or so, definitely not a tier 1 or anything like that. But I think it keeps up pretty well with all the tier 2 decks and can sometimes give the tier 1 decks a run for their money given, the right circumstances. In the comment section below, remember let me know what you think of this deck. And I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.